fitting night for me to be here because with all of these lovely people from the Ms. New York Senior Pageant, I was a judge there once.
Absolutely, Joe. And can we say that since you're the king of fundraising and the king of giving scholarships to high school seniors, that in the house tonight we have the queen and the king?
It's very good, Howie. I guess that would make you the Joker. Thank you. I do stand-up comedy.
No, Joe, I'm not the Joker. I'm the sweeper.
By the way, I just want to point out that when I start doing stand-up comedy, what it means to me is that people stand up and leave. But seriously speaking,
yes.
Shall we?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. By the way, my experience being a judge at the pageant was incredible. Talented people, wonderful answers, poise demonstrated, and the best part of it is that these people are here to promote New York State, the wonderful things it has to offer, and I think the concept of having a pageant like this is just a great one. And I'm also asking to be a judge again, if anyone's out there who's listening. But anyway, we have someone in the audience who might be able to help me with that. Just so happens to be here. Anyway, no, seriously though, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it, and the food was tremendous. But anyway, speaking of food, by the way, Howie, I've lost 90 pounds. Did you know that?
I also always say that Joe is the biggest loser I know, in an affectionate way. Because losing 90 pounds, just give him a round of applause. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, I started my life with strained lasagna in my baby bottle. So where do you go from there? But seriously, it was that and tennis, Howie. I play tennis just about every day. Unfortunately, I do play with 80-year-olds. I get instant success. It's great for my ego. Very hard for them to move on the court with the walker. Is the microphone working?
Yeah.
Sorry. Hello?
Yes.
Oh. Anyway, they are on fixed income, so we use the balls from under the legs, and then when we're done, we put them back. Oh my God, who's out there?
Tough crowd. Tough crowd.
Yeah, really. All right, let's get to the serious stuff, shall we?
Yeah.
Anyway, so as Howie alluded to, I started a foundation after my wife Susan passed away of a 13-year battle with breast cancer. We were both high school math teachers, don't hold that against me. And of course, you know what high school math teachers do, Howie, don't you?
Multiply.
Thank you very much. That was a joke, guys. Is that a painting or is that real people out there? My goodness. Anyway, so we had an idyllic life, Sue and I. We were married for 29 years. Loved every minute of it. Did I ever tell you, Howie, how our infrequent arguments would end?
No.
Well, one of us would say, "I'm sorry," and the other one would say, "It's okay, Joe." Well, okay, fine. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? So, unfortunately, Sue contracted breast cancer 16 years into our 29-year marriage, and 13 years after she did pass away. I actually retired 4 years early to be with her because her health had taken such a bad turn. I was still in front of the classroom, but I was literally cheating the kids I was teaching. I was not thinking of them. I was thinking about what was going on at home and where the new chemo was going to take us and where the new journey was going to be. So my district allowed me to retire, which was amazing. I ended up spending the last 4 years of Sue's life together with her, and I wouldn't change a thing other than the outcome, because in 2005 she does pass away, and Joe here had no direction, no purpose, no job, no Sue. I was totally lost. And for 6 months, if anyone wanted to find me, all they had to do was come into my bedroom because I was under my covers in fetal position, crying all day, feeling sorry for myself. But, life can sometimes throw you some terrible curves. It can also throw you some beautiful curves. And about 6 months after she died, I had an epiphany. I had a lightning bolt strike my head. And I said, this is crazy. I'm not doing anything for anybody by laying under these covers. And it was right then and there that I started the Susan Satriano Foundation. And I knew exactly who I wanted to target. Seeing the demise that it had, the demise affected my 2 boys very, very deeply, I said, well, I'm going to target high school seniors with a college scholarship, Unfortunately, to be eligible for it, the third requirement is that they have to have a parent who's either passed away of cancer, presently battling, or in remission. I've done the foundation for 13 years. You're looking at the foundation. It's me and me alone. And I'm so proud to say that I have reached the vaulted numbers of helping 1,500 kids with well over $1 million in scholarships. The best part of what I do, more than the scholarships that I give out, is I go to every single school and I talk to the kids. I ask each school to give me 20 minutes with each child, and what I do is I give them hope and optimism because I've lived it, and they're going through it, or they have gone through it, and it's just an amazing cathartic episode to actually go face to face with these kids. And they become lifelong friends. I've gotten so many letters and phone calls from them, even past the date. That I've given out the scholarships. I'm still talking to the 4 kids that I gave out the scholarships to back in 2006 from Oceanside. So yeah, and they're not kids anymore, they have kids of their own. But they feel this need, this connection, because we have walked the walk. So this has been an amazing run for me to be able to help kids in a new light rather than being in front of a classroom. Now I'm doing it through the scholarship program. By the way, I help over 70 districts on Long Island in the tri-state area. I help over 24 across the nation. For the kids in California and across the nation, I do Skype interviews with them. But you know what the disadvantage of that is, Howie?
No idea.
I've got to get dressed.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. Only waist up, however. Yeah. Yeah. They don't know
Tough
it.
crowd, okay.
I know it is a tough crowd. Can we get the next bus load in?
That's it, they're coming, they're coming.
Yeah, maybe a little caffeinated coffee might help. But anyway, so it's been a joy. And then of course I surprised myself because I'm a math teacher. What do I know about words? But I did actually write a book called In Sickness and in Health, a Memoir of Love. It's the story of my life with Susan. It's not a book about loss, it's a book about hope and optimism and love. That's the way we lived it. And the best part of the book, 100% of its proceeds goes to the foundation. Since the book's been out, the foundation's grown by over $20,000. So someone's reading this, which amazes me. I guarantee 2 things about this book, Howie. Do you know what any of them are?
The pages are numbered consecutively.
Being a math teacher, see, that's the joke. How many times have you heard this shtick?
A few.
Okay. And the other thing is that the hardcover version makes a better doorstop. So you may want to consider that. It has multiple purposes, plus it could also be read, which is another sidebar. You could also wait until the movie comes out, and it's so obvious who's playing me. You remember who's playing me, Howie?
Yeah, Robert Redford.
Robert De Niro.
Oh, that's good. I wasn't thinking of him. I was thinking more of Brad Pitt. Take a good look. You see the side view? Come on. Yeah? Okay. Anyway, in my dreams. But anyway, so yeah, it's been a joy, and Howie, you have been such a great supporter of the foundation. And I appreciate you've been to many of my events that I run.
I got to cut you off, Joe, because a thought, an idea just popped in my mind. Do you have a big fundraising event planned for the next season?
We're in the works. I run these Beatle concerts, which is amazing. Any of you out there in the audience have heard Strawberry Fields?
Are you going back to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are truly amazing guys. They look like them. They sound like them. They had a 17-year gig at BB King's in the city. BB King's is now closed down, so they are doing other places. But they have friended me. As a matter of fact, they kind of make me feel like the fifth Strawberry.
Cool.
I just hope it's not going to be in West Hampton High School next year.
No, that was a one-time shot. By the way, we drove so far that I felt like if I went 1 mile further east, I'd be in London.
There you go.
Yeah.
So where's it going to be?
Well, we're working on it.
Okay,
We're
so
working
let
on
us
it. Yeah, and I will you will be the second to know. I will
Okay.
be the first. And yeah, and I know you'll be there to support it. Your show has been incredible. You have been incredible with all the support and giving me some airtime to promote the foundation. So that's my story, and I'm so proud to be here. And go New York State, Ms. New York State.
All right. Before I let Joe go, I just want to tell you this little story. when Joe was talking about being a math teacher, he didn't mention it, but I'll mention it because there's something I want to add to it. Joe was a math teacher at Roslyn High School. Well, back around that time, before I started this show, which I started in 2010, for about, I'd say about 20 years, I did a high school sports show. And one year, when I was in the midst of my high school football season, and it was pretty big back in the day, I'll never forget this. It was week 7 of the high school football season. And everybody thought that I would do for the game of the week Garden City against Wantagh because they were both undefeated. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that game because chances are they're probably going to play in a few more weeks. So the game I picked was Joe's high school, Roslyn, against Jericho's high school. They were both 0-6 at the time. Neither team had come close to even winning a game. But what I felt is that by putting these two schools and these two teams in the limelight, making the game of the week, it would make these kids feel special. And for a lot of these kids, it would be their only opportunity to walk off of the field with a victory. So it was really a special day. And I don't forget when I walked in, the parents, I walked on the Jericho side, treated me like a celebrity. They were so happy to see me. And, it was just a great experience putting the kids in the limelight. And the reason I talk about that is that, of course, as Joe was at Roslyn, but the other school involved, I want to mention this, and I want to give them some props. Just last week, Jericho High School was named the #1 school in the nation. All 50 states. Jericho High School, #1 school in the nation. So in the coming weeks, we're going to have some people on from Jericho to talk about, because that really is an incredible accomplishment. And people in Long Island should really be proud because several Long Island schools were in the top 100. But Jericho, to be #1 in the nation, is a pretty cool thing, and I'm sure Joe's done some work with Jericho High School students and scholarships, and I know he's done with Roslyn because that's his school he was.
I could probably guess, knowing the Roslyn kids, who ended up 0-7 that day, but I won't mention who.
Yeah. Actually, Jericho did win that game. It was a very close, well-played game, and to me, both teams are winners, and it was a fun day. But anyway. Joe, we're looking forward to more details on Strawberry Fields. We know it's going to be a huge event. It's going to raise a lot of money for the foundation. So let's give it up for Joe Satriano.